now that we have the background information on how credit cards work, the things we should do, the things we shouldn't do, now I think you guys are ready to be able to take advantage of getting the actual credit cards that you guys want. The first thing I want you guys to focus on is please don't worry about your credit score. Now, Abu, you just said you needed 720. I did. But at the end of the day, you guys will be able to get a 720 if you guys focus on properly structuring out your credit report. Now, I want you guys to first get these certain data points. Now, what I simply mean by data points is by having the correct metrics that you guys will need to have on your credit report to get approved for these credit cards. These are the same data points that a lot of lenders are ultimately looking for. After you guys reach these data points, getting any card that you guys want will be not a dream, but actual reality. So the data points that I wanted to talk about off the bat, first thing I want you guys to do is to have 100% credit utilization. And what that means is that you guys will never miss a payment, always making sure to pay off all of your bills on time and preferably in full every month, because we shouldn't be spending any money that we don't necessarily have, right? After that, what we need to do is have about 6 years of age history on our credit report. Now, I know if you guys are just starting off, you might not be able to get this as easily as possible, but stick around. I'm gonna show you guys how to be able to actually get this done. After we have about 100% utilization and also 6 years or more of credit age history, the next thing we'll need to have for the data points is going to be at least 10 positive accounts. So at least 10 positive accounts, because the more accounts that you guys build up on your credit report, the stronger your credit report actually is. So what I mean by that is that if you guys have about 3 accounts, if you guys, for example, have 3 different accounts on your credit report, you don't have any other accounts, for example, if one of those accounts, just one, right? Anything happens to that account, you miss a payment, you default, your credit score you're gonna see drops dramatically because of the fact that you guys don't have a lot of other credit accounts to go ahead and offset or balance off that loss or that deduction from your credit report. So making sure that you guys have 10 positive accounts or more is going to be the ultimate way that you guys can make sure your credit score does not fluctuate a lot. After this, I want you guys to have 0 derogatory items. No collections, no charge-offs, no late payments, no nothing. I want you guys to really make sure you pay attention to all the credit accounts that you guys currently have. Make sure none of them actually get defaulted or a collection shows up at all. And if anything does show up, I'm gonna show you guys how to dispute it. So definitely make sure to check out the credit repair hacks that we have for you guys. It literally shows you guys everything that you guys will need to know to get any account removed right away. After this, the last thing I want you guys to really hone in and have on your data points is going to be 2 to 4 hard inquiries max. I want you guys not to have more than 4 hard inquiries at all. So I want you guys to have only 2 to 4 hard inquiries max, because of the fact that having a lot of inquiries shows lenders that you're ultimately seeking a lot of credit. So what this means to lenders is that if they see a lot of hard inquiries, automatically signals a red flag, because of the fact when you guys are seeking a lot of credit, it means that you guys are living above your means, and a lot of lenders don't want to lend out to people that have been living above their means or aren't responsible with their credit report. Now, these are simply the data points that I want you guys to go ahead and have. Now, I know a lot of people are telling you guys to go ahead and apply for credit card accounts right away. That's actually what I don't want you guys to do. I want you guys to first focus on getting the data points that you guys will need, and then after you guys get the data points, then go ahead and apply for 5 to 7 credit cards with only having 2 to 3 hard inquiries. Now, I'll show you guys how to be able to do that later on in this video, but I wanted to go step by step on how we're able to get these data points. The first thing, off the bat, 100% payment history. You guys will simply need to never miss a payment, and as I mentioned earlier in this video, go ahead and just set up all of your different credit accounts on auto payment for at least the minimum payment. That way, you guys make sure you guys will never miss a payment. And one other data point that you guys will really need to have in order to maximize your chances to get the best credit card is to have 10% utilization or lower. So simply put, if you guys have a $10,000 credit card and you only spend $1,000, that's 10% credit utilization. This is really good, and it shows lenders that you guys are living below your means. So you'll need a 10% credit utilization or less. If you guys really want to increase your chances even more, definitely try to get it lower than 5%. I know a lot of credit gurus out there tell you guys that you guys need to have 30% credit utilization, which isn't wrong, but having 30% credit utilization will not increase your score, but it won't decrease it. So having less than 10% is going to be the ultimate way to ultimately increase your credit score. So the next data point I wanted to mention is going to be having 10% utilization or less. So like I mentioned, 10% utilization is going to be the ultimate key to get higher limit credit cards. Because if you show these credit card companies that you're able to manage your credit accounts well and not need them per se, then they'll ultimately give you guys more access to higher limits of credit cards. So you definitely want to have 10% or lower. If you guys really want to get higher limits, such as $20,000, $50,000 credit cards, then I highly recommend to keep that below 5% utilization, because it looks really good, and credit utilization actually makes up about 30% of your score. So as you guys can see, having high utilization is actually a really big deal in order to lower your credit score. Then after that, we're gonna need about 6 years of credit age history. We're gonna need at least 6 years of age on our credit report. So in order to get this, if you guys are just starting off and haven't had about 6 years of credit, what you guys can do, the first thing is go ahead and get put on an authorized user account from any of your aunts, uncles. Like I mentioned earlier, my uncle had put me on to a credit card that was about $21,000 that opened up in 1999. So what that did is drastically increase my credit age, because of the fact that since he's my uncle, it actually will count towards my credit metrics. That's a great way to extend that credit history that you guys will have. Now, another great way that you guys can be able to increase the overall credit age of your report is by putting on rental accounts. So a lot of rental accounts, such as Rental Karma, Rent Reporters, Rent Track, or even Boom Pay. And if you guys have missed this, I've actually made a video step by step on $100,000 worth of trade line accounts that you guys can put on your report. If you happen to miss that or want a more detailed explanation, definitely make sure you guys check out that video. It's really helpful. So what these rental accounts do is actually backdate your rent history. So if you guys have lived in an apartment for about 3 years, they'll actually go ahead and backdate it and give you guys payment history of up to 24 months. So they'll give you guys 2 years of positive payment history. And if you guys have actually happened to live in that apartment or whatever rent that you guys have rented from, such as a landlord at a house or any of that sort, then you guys can actually put the actual start date of the account even further back than 2 years, and they'll have the start date as that. Say for example, I lived at an apartment complex for about 5 years. So I'd go ahead and actually put that I lived at that apartment complex since 2018, because right now it's 2023, so 5 years ago it was 2018. What these rental companies will do is report to the credit bureaus that you actually opened up that account in 2018, and then they'll give you guys 2 years of positive payment history. But the fact that account opened up in 2018, so definitely make sure you guys are checking out my previous videos, because I go into depth on certain hacks and tips and strategies that I have given you guys over time on our YouTube channel. So definitely make sure to take advantage of that. Now after that, in order to have 0 derogatory items, just simply make sure you guys are on top of your credit score, right? Make sure that no collections get put on there. If you guys have an AT&T bill, just go ahead and pay it off before it turns into a collection, because having it removed isn't impossible, but it's a lot easier not to have it come on in the first place. So after we went ahead and had 100% utilization, we had about 6 years of positive age history. We also had 0 derogatory items and lower than 10% utilization. So the last couple of data points, one of them is going to be having 2 to 4 hard inquiries. So hard inquiries are going to be a major deal in getting approved for certain accounts. I know that when you guys apply for a certain account, right, that you guys will automatically get a hard inquiry. And also too, if you guys say go to a dealer or shop around, ultimately go ahead and pull your credit report to a lot of different lenders. So basically, if you guys get approved for a certain credit card account, before that credit card account gets reported to your credit report, make sure you guys go ahead and dispute and call the credit bureaus to get that hard inquiry removed before it gets on. Because once it gets on your credit card account, then that hard inquiry is actually tied to an existing account, and it makes it really hard to get removed. So before it even gets reported in the first place, then go ahead and just dispute it. So say for example, I got approved for an American Express credit card account that I applied for today. So what I would do in order to mitigate these hard inquiries is, after I get approved, right away calling the credit bureaus and letting them know to go ahead and remove that hard inquiry before that account shows up on my report. So that's a really great way to mitigate all of the hard inquiries that you would have. So 2 to 4 is going to be what we want to have, and if you guys can even get to 0, that's even better. Congratulations, you guys have now got the data points that you guys will need in order to get any credit card that you guys want. So how do I keep building on my credit report and also get to different levels and higher levels of credit cards? So after you guys get these data points, what I want you guys to do is to go ahead and apply for 5 to 7 different credit cards. Now, in order to be able to mitigate the hard inquiries, what I want you guys to do is to go ahead and actually look up the different credit bureaus that each credit card company actually utilizes. A lot of times when you have certain credit card issuers, they'll often use Experian, for example, as their sole credit bureau that they're pulling from. So what I want you guys to do is look at each individual credit issuer, see which credit bureau they often use, and if you guys don't know, you guys can simply call the representatives and ask them, hey, if I happen to apply for this card, which credit bureau do you guys pull from? Just because I want to make sure that that credit bureau is strong enough to get approved. And you can also ask them questions on the metrics that you guys will need to get approved. So basically put, whenever you guys do this, I want you guys to go ahead and find 3 different credit card issuers for Experian, right? Then I want you guys to go ahead and find 3 different credit card companies that actually only use Equifax for their main credit bureau that they pull from. Then after that, I want you guys to find 3 different credit issuers that only use Experian for their credit bureau pools. So what this allows you to do is apply for numerous different cards, and then when the hard inquiry shows up, since they're all pulling from different credit bureaus, they won't show up on all the different credit bureaus that you have. If you guys apply for 3 credit issuers that only pull from Experian, those 3 hard inquiries will only show up on Experian. Now, this is the same thing for the other 2 credit bureaus. If you find 3 credit card issuers that only pull from TransUnion, this is the same thing for the other 2 credit bureaus. When you find 3 credit card issuers that only pull from TransUnion and 3 credit card issuers that only pull from Equifax, what this does is only pull those hard inquiries to show up on those individual credit bureaus. Since they're only using that credit bureau, they won't show up on your different credit reports for each individual bureau. Just keep in mind though, there are some credit card issuers such as Capital One that will pull all 3 credit reports, so just make sure before you guys apply to go ahead and ask them. So once you guys have done this, basically after this, just simply about manage your credit cards and making sure that you guys are staying on top of everything to be able to get access to higher limit credit cards. So once you guys get approved for these 5 to 7 credit cards, because I know it works, I've done this with a lot of different clients. Once you guys get those key data metrics, then basically being able to get approved for credit cards is going to be an understatement. Because when you guys have these data points, that's exactly what these lenders are looking for. You have to think of it like this. Most of the times, it's not going to be an individual person. What we have to understand is that, one, it's 2023. All of this is computer generated, and these computers are looking for certain data metrics on your credit report. So what we want to do is kind of have a glitch in the matrix, as I like to call it, and basically give the computer what they want. So by being able to get these data points before you even apply, it just allows you to put your best foot forward. So you guys could apply before you guys got these data points, but honestly, it's more of a gamble on if you're going to get approved or if you're not going to get approved. So, and also too, if you happen to get approved without having those data points, you're not going to get as high of a limit as you would if you simply just took the time, got these data points on there, and then been able to apply. So we definitely have to make sure that we're being very, very strategic and intentional on how we're applying for these credit cards and which credit cards we're even applying for. So once we go ahead and get these 5 to 7 different credit cards and get approved, you might be able to get approved for all 5, you might get approved for 3. However, if you guys do get denied for any credit cards, so whenever you guys get denied for a credit card, most of the times people don't get denied due to their credit report. A lot of times, whenever you get a credit card denial, it's simply due to the fact of fraud concerns. Now, with fraud being the highest growing crime in the United States, a lot of credit card issuers are being very, very careful on who they're approving and who they're denying. So if you guys happen to get denied, what you guys can do is to call the reconsideration line for every credit card issuer that you got denied. Most credit card issuers simply have it, so you can just Google it as far as reconsideration line for American Express or whatever that credit card issuer was. When you guys call these credit card issuers, simply ask them, hey, I have a great credit score and I feel like I'm a great candidate for this credit card. I happen to get denied. Can you guys give it a second look in seeing if you guys can approve me for your credit card? So what they will do is that instead of a computer actually making that result, what happens now is that an actual representative behind a computer will individually look at your credit report and your credit score to see if they can be able to approve you for this credit card account. And this basically works like magic. I got a lot of times, even with my clients, my friends, family members, and we even have a joke that we don't really get denied for credit card accounts, because of the fact that once we go ahead and call the reconsideration line, they're a lot more lenient in seeing if they can be able to help you out. But at the end of the day, we're all humans, so they understand that getting denied for a credit card is not ideal. They'll definitely try to do the best that they possibly can in order to get you guys approved for these credit cards. So definitely call the reconsideration line. Make sure you guys are focusing on the data points in your credit report instead of your credit score. And after that, it's simply put, it's just to go ahead and manage your credit score. After every 3 to 6 months is when credit card issuers will do an automatic review of your account. So after you guys have had these credit card accounts, make sure that you're making your on-time payments, paying your balance off in full to make sure you're never missing a payment, always paying off your credit card in full, never living above your means. Then after every 3 to 6 months, always ask for a credit line increase, which can allow you to get a higher limit on your credit card account. So once you guys start managing your credit cards really well, then this allows you guys to get access to those higher limit credit cards and what I like to call those really top tier credit cards. So simply just manage your credit cards. In the next videos, I'm gonna be showing you guys step by step on how to be able to actually go from having a bad credit score, boosting your credit score, and then being able to access business credit. So I hope this video is really helpful. If you guys are loving the channel, please make sure you guys are subscribing, tap the bell notifications below, and also if you guys can really run up this channel, because again, every money that we're getting, we're just trying to invest it in better camera equipment, paying my employees, making sure that you guys are getting the best possible content out there. So if you guys really love this channel, I'd really appreciate if you guys can help me out in sharing this channel with at least 5 of your friends so you guys can grow together and share different tips and strategies along the way. I'm loving the support, I'm loving the feedback. I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep going harder for you guys. This is the best YouTube channel out there, man. They're not messing with us. And you guys are honestly touching my hearts, man. I've had so many great comments and so many great reviews. People are getting approved for $15,000 credit cards, $20,000 credit cards, $30,000 credit cards, simply by using the information. So if you guys are watching this channel and you're watching this video currently, please don't sit on the information. Actually put this information into action and also help out all of your friends and family members in making sure that all of their credit scores are intact. And this will also allow you to better learn about credit and also be able to be one step closer to your financial freedom. My name is Abdul Hassan. Hope this video was helpful. Make sure to subscribe, my boy. I'll see you at the top, guys.